o'clock. Let's call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Roll call shows Kathy Howell, McKee, Joel Gabbard, and Joe McKinney, all present.
Identification. I'll read the prayer if you would like to join. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for your mercy and grace, and please provide us with the wisdom and understanding necessary to lead our city through the decisions that come before us today. And these things we ask in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, it's time for the second reading of the budget. Danielle. This will be 2025-2026 budget.
And you have a copy of that I can see.
Which one?
The budget.
Coming here. Yeah, July 1st.
So this is an ordinance adopting the City of McKee, Kentucky annual budget for the fiscal year July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the legislative body, whereas the legislative body has reviewed such budget proposal and made modifications. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of McKee, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, and ending on June 30, 2026 is as adopted as set forth herein. Section 2, this budget ordinance shall be administered by the executive authorities prescribed and set forth in the Kentucky Revised Statutes. Administration shall include but not be limited to at least the following: preparation and submission of financial statements, which include budgetary comparisons on not less than a quarterly basis, provided for budget amendments if requested by the legislative body or if anticipated through administration and implementation. Prepare any financial statements required for publication purposes pursuant to KRS 424 and KRS 91A. Cause each fund of this budget to be audited as prescribed by law. In Section 3, the detailed operating budget is adopted by reference for administration and accounting and reporting purposes. In this ordinance, Section 4, this ordinance becomes effective immediately upon passage and publication as required by law.
Can you pass this back to her?
5-4-10.
Thank you.
Okay, we've heard the second reading of the budget. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make that motion.
Motion by Kathy, second by Joe. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Danielle, the first reading of Senate Bill 63 ordinance.
So I'll read this, but I'm going to give you all just a brief explanation. I sent that letter out, but just in case it was as clear as mud. The state passed to allow the ATVs and the UTVs to travel on state highways, but to allow that to happen inside the city, you have to adopt an ordinance to opt in. They still have to follow like all the state laws. They have all these safety requirements. It's not just going to be four-wheelers riding up and down 421 all crazy and willy-nilly. Did anybody have anything that they wanted to like make more stringent? Like, did you all want to require anything extra, or just whatever the state decides is good?
That's good with me. I mean, they have to have a license and everything.
Yeah, they like it's almost the same. My interpretation is it's almost the same as if you have a motorcycle. You have to have a license, you have to register it, you have to have it insured. It has to meet all these safety specs. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
And it has to be inspected by the sheriff's department.
Yes, they have to get an inspection just like you do like a car or a motorcycle.
I make a motion that we adopt that.
She's got to read it.
So yeah.
Oh,
So I'll just
oh,
read it.
I read it.
But then this will be the first reading, and then on the next meeting you guys will vote to adopt it. So this will be ordinance 1 of 2025, an ordinance authorizing the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles as defined by KRS Chapter 186 on highways and streets in the city of McKee and establishing restrictions for operation. Whereas the Kentucky General Assembly passed Senate Bill 63 to authorize local governments to adopt ordinances to allow street legal special purpose vehicles as defined by KRS Chapter 186 to operate upon highways within its jurisdiction. Whereas Senate Bill 63 contains equipment requirements for and restricts operation of street legal special purpose vehicles on all highways, including those in local governments that allow operation by ordinance. Whereas the City of McKee determines that the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles on authorized highways is beneficial to the city and its residents. Whereas the City of McKee reserves its right to impose additional restrictions on the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles. Now therefore be ordained by the council for the City of McKee, Kentucky as follows. You have the definitions for cabinet, highway, approved equipment, street legal special purpose vehicle, and authorized use. Effective on June 27, 2025, street legal special purpose vehicles as defined by Senate Bill 63 and codified in KRS Chapters 186 shall be authorized to operate on the highways within the City of McKee. Operation of street legal special purpose vehicles as defined by Senate Bill 63 and codified in KRS Chapter 186 shall be subject to state law requirements and restrictions. If any part of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or unenforceable, the remaining part shall remain in force and effect. And then next time we'll vote on it.
All right.
This goes into effect when?
The law goes into effect June 27th.
27.
Yeah.
So we'll have to table it.
So yeah, so it won't go into effect for the city until we meet again in July.
Okay, I inadvertently overlooked our minutes. You all should have a copy of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve from the last meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Kathy, second by Jewel. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The mayor's report, I'll just report that we have been in communication with the audit team and they're working through our audit. We hopefully will have it very soon. At the end of this month, we'll have another audit due, the 24-25 audit. So we will plan on getting a different auditor for the next one, so we don't have such a delay. We think we found a pretty reputable auditor. But we'll get your all's approval before we send them anything. And that's really all I have. Let me go real quick, because I think I got a conflict with the meeting. It's the third one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the September council meeting, I will be here, so. Do we wanna move that, where's Danielle? Just move it to the next, well, actually, I won't be here that week. So postpone it a week, cancel it, or we can discuss it at the next meeting.
Let's say we can decide in July or even August.
Just remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the September meeting, I'll be out of town. Okay, let's go on to citizens' comments. Judy?
Go first, Greg?
Sure. If y'all remember the last time we was here, Rodney was with me, and we had talked about doing a mural and a sculpture park in downtown McKee at the vacant lot that Jackson County Bank had. They have since decided that they were thinking about maybe increasing the drive-through, and they wanted to reserve that lot for parking or whatever. So we went to Plan B, and Plan B was the spot where Sparks Park is located.
Yep.
So that's what we wanted to talk to y'all about today, kind of ask your permission and your involvement in taking that little area and turning it into that, for what we had planned on originally. And I think Judy's got some examples and some photos there of what we originally have there. Okay.
Has anybody checked, do we own that?
We do own it,
Oh,
but
they have, that was your copy.
But those guys did tell me that like the area, like, so you can't move that wall.
No, you
Like-
can't move the wall.
Like it's set up, like, I know you guys were asking, cause it's set up kind of like in a weird way, like that
Yeah.
That part is, like, it has to be that way. But he also said that he was pretty sure that back behind there is like the creek. And like, he didn't know that if there was a lot of usable land back behind it.
Yeah, so the idea was to do another mural, similar to the one in Clay County that has like a V shape. And you put it back there beside, or down from the other one.
If you look at the second page, you'll see this mural. So right next to it, there's plenty of space to put a second mural. So instead of the wall next to the bank, because we've got money for the mural now, is to put a mural there right next to this one. And then, Danielle, you talking about which wall can't be removed there? Let me give you that.
Yeah, that was-
down, isn't it?
Like that, like none of this can,
Yes.
like that, when they talked to me before, they thought that maybe this one in front of the picnic table could be moved, but those guys said it can't. And what you were thinking was sidewalk is actually the foundation for that wall, not sidewalk, is what they told me.
So why can't that wall be removed?
Because that's part of the flood retention and like to direct the drainage away. Like all of that was
To keep-
intentional
To keep the water out of the parking lot.
to keep it going into the creek.
Okay.
Because it comes off of that hill
Yeah.
down in, and if, without that, this was all flooded before.
Okay.
And it'll flood out into the roadway and
Yeah.
so like none of those barriers can be moved.
Okay.
Okay.
That wall could be painted up though, right? Have a pretty mural or something?
As
like
long as it doesn't damage any sort of structural integrity to it, I wouldn't
Yeah.
see why not.
Yeah, who was it you had talked to?
Keith, our guys that work here.
Oh, okay. So that area there is considered a drainage area. The question was, can it be restructured a little bit, reinforce the drainage and use that top area? Because there's access in there to that area there.
Kind of like preaching to drain it in.
Yeah, that bank drains off into the creek over there, so putting a new drain tile, a new ditch, and making sure that it drains the same way it does now.
Yeah.
But also be able to use that little spot there. That was the area that we were thinking about using that for the sculptures, that we've got some folks that's bought in on the vocational school. PRTC had mentioned some ideas. I'm an artist and I was gonna put a sculpture there. We were gonna ask community organizations, anybody that wanna be involved, to sponsor a sculpture there. And what this is about, it's a program that we've started through the Brushy Fork Institute at Berea College called People Ready. And our project is to do a mural and a sculpture park as a tourism destination. And not only a destination for people to come from outside, but also for us to go and enjoy too. The vocational school is obligated to do a tall scrap metal Jackson County General. So it's gonna be things like that we put in there. First phase of it is to get the park lined out and a mural put up. And we're meeting on
Monday.
next Monday to discuss what we're gonna put on the mural. So you guys are invited to that too. That's
When is it?
23rd,
Next Monday?
is that the 23rd?
No. Oh, yeah, it might be 23rd.
Yeah, it's the 23rd.
Yeah, so it's
23rd.
next Monday.
Actually, we were going to, if you guys were to approve this, we were going to meet at 5:30 at the park, kind of look at it, and then meet at the conference center at 6 o'clock for whatever. And the meeting at the conference center is to discuss what we're going to do with the mural, how we're going to do the mural. And it's going to be something that emphasizes our culture here, Jackson County. So we want all the people we can get to come and bring ideas, pictures or whatever we might want to put on that wall.
When you
They're
say
all on the mural.
conference center, are you talking about the,
The
Yeah.
ECC building.
okay, the EC,
Yeah, she knows a little bit about that, doesn't
not the
she?
PRTC conference center, the.
Yeah,
Yeah, not the
Extension office.
extension
Yeah.
office.
right.
So is this where you want to do like music and stuff like you were going to do at the one by the bank? Is that what you want to do here?
Well, if it's feasible, yeah.
Well, I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I apologize if I'm not up to speed, but I really like that idea.
I do too.
And,
And even though,
expansive is not the word I'm looking for, that's too big of a word, but the more that void we can fill up, I think the better off we'll be. But we probably need to get our engineers to look at it to make sure. I'd like you to be able to do as much as you can,
Right.
but we still maintain flood and water drainage integrity. That's important.
Yeah, just looking in
I
there,
would think that would be easy to do.
yeah, looking in there, I saw some tile that's kind of on top of the ground. And there's a retaining basin down there for that water that comes over there that's already there. I guess the city did that.
Yeah,
So it would be going around that and leaving that, you know, and putting some extra drainage where the rest of that little area back there would be dry. And then putting that mural back there that would kind of take the visual away from that bank
Yeah.
as a backdrop for the sculptures and the little park that we want to put in there. So,
I would be in favor of it.
the doctor's offices and stuff all parked back there too.
Yeah, as much as we can.
Yeah.
Verify it's our land, number one, and then number two, verify through the engineers that we can do as much as we can without.
I've got this one copy from PBA office, and it shows the,
The people signed out
It shows the city
to
on it.
the city.
You actually have like 70 or 80 acres there. It's
Yeah, there's
quite
a-
large. It goes all the way from that park to Gabbard Park.
Yes.
That whole hillside behind all those houses that Gene Sparks donated to the city to create a
Right.
park. Put some trails up there and do whatever, and,
But this house on top of that hill, we do not own.
right,
There is a fence up there. That dude wanted us to buy that house for like $1 million or something. So we told him to take his house and do something with it.
Above the creek goes up to the old gym.
But he's so
Yeah.
bad.
it does.
Reform church.
Yeah,
Did you say
everything behind the Reformed Church, all that hillside is owned by the city with this
You
deed.
know, the man that walks the little dog.
We- I don't think that we own as much up anymore. Like,
Did you sell
like we traded, like we only own like the blob behind Sparks Park. Like we don't own a whole lot like on 290 anymore.
Is that
Like
not part of what was traded to
we
Randall Weaver?
we traded that to Randall Weaver. So like
it? Okay,
yeah, like it doesn't go like that doesn't connect back to like the park or anything. It just it's like my understanding it's that little blob back behind
Yeah.
that. So like anything on that mountainside and like on the high street is all private property.
so the city traded that or sold it to Weaver.
We traded it for the top of the 290 park because technically we didn't own part of our own park where the shelter was.
Gene's dad owned from the park on the hill.
Yeah.
No, I can tell you where the shelter was, because I had to have that surveyed when that park was built. It was surveyed, you own that shelter.
It was like part of it behind it. Like I don't know exactly. I
There was
wasn't
a
here
road
then.
that needed to go back in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
like he needed access, so it was traded,
Yes.
part of it was traded to Randall Weaver, and we got that little blob section behind Sparks Park.
Yeah.
Okay. So you own more on Gabbard Park now then? Gabbard Park's bigger than what it was.
Just by like a smidge.
Okay. Because at the time it was built, everything was on city property, because it was surveyed. We've survey tags out there and everything, so.
Yes, but then we had to put a road back there or something.
okay, that's why we're here. We're asking we want to see what the feasibility was and what you guys thought
I
about it.
think it's a great idea.
I really think like you guys though need to talk to Keith and probably our engineer because he really didn't think that there was that much usable area back there.
There's quite a bit. It's grown up with tall trees and stuff that, probably 5 or 6 years of overgrowth that needs to be cut out.
If it's used, you have to get a bobcat in there and just kind of do some redraining. And there is water standing there, I noticed that.
Yeah.
So the drain part there is just sitting there, and it's all running into that creek like you said.
But we'd be glad to get with Keith and see,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
who's the city engineer, when's he gonna be in town next?
It's,
Bluegrass engineering.
yeah, Bluegrass Engineering, I'm drawing a blank on that, something. But we'll need to do that, and there'll need to be an ordinance
our biggest problem with these grants all have deadlines, so we've got October to build part of this. And the mural part, we got till November, but we could do some sculpture, but the sculptures would have to be done by October, the mural by November. We're thinking that we might need both those funds just to do the mural, so.
If you can have what we need prior to the next meeting, it seems to me like it's gonna be favorable. We just gotta have the right stuff to vote on.
I think that Bluegrass Engineering was here today. I think I saw their truck this morning.
Yeah, if that wall still needs to be there, I mean, we can make that free,
Yeah, yeah.
make it inviting.
And we'll have to cross the insurance and, let's see.
I think we had to put that wall up there.
We need to make sure we own that, and then there'll have to be an ordinance drafted, and attorneys will probably have to do that. But it sounds good.
And the ordinance would just give us permission to put some art in the park. Is that what the ordinance is about, or what?
It would be a resolution, but yeah.
In
Okay.
in making this a park,
We just want to put art in your existing park.
the park we have up there.
Yeah,
The guy-
art meaning the mural
No,
and the sculpture.
The Sparks Park.
This park right here,
Sparks
Sparks
Park.
Park.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we'd like to, add a second mural to where you already have one.
yeah,
And then in the back where this retaining wall is, where they park against, there's like a wide sidewalk there with picnic tables on.
yeah.
And behind that, there's a good open space that we could put some sculpture in if you all would
There's
allow.
probably more room than what this building occupies back there. It's kind of
Yeah.
deceiving when you drive by it. When you go in there and look at it, you
I
can see
would
it.
agree.
Yeah, it just needs to be cleaned up because it hasn't been maintained in years. There's all kinds of trees this big now growing up in there that would probably need to be.
Somebody did a good job with it. They made that big catch basin there for the water when it comes over that hill.
Right.
Those trees maybe hold the mountain up.
No, I don't think so because the mountain is cut straight there. You got a straight wall.
Yeah, well, the positive part of that, it's been done quite some time ago, and
Yeah.
it's held, so. It's possible that if we did go back there, we may have to put, maybe a 4 or 5 foot high retainer wall there, just to catch water not coming, you wouldn't want something to fall over, and come in, somebody sitting in the park or whatever. Which, there's a number of ways to do that, so.
They'll have to put a type of wall or some type.
Yeah. If you have to do the Gideon wall or concrete, whatever,
Block or whatever.
yeah.
All right.
So
Thank
what
you.
would we, do we need to try to contact this engineer to get some
How
discussion
do you
going?
want to do that, Dave?
I can send an email to him tomorrow.
Okay.
And establish time, let him know about this, meeting they're having up there, so he can get an idea of what they're doing. He may want to meet with you earlier, or coordinate a day that he's gonna be here.
Yeah,
He comes from.
you can tell him that we're having a meeting at 5:30 there, and if he can come, if not, we can meet him whenever possible.
Yeah, if he'd be earlier, well,
Whatever.
no, that day would be good, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that day would be good.
That's the 23rd.
yeah, next
Yeah,
month.
next Monday.
Yeah.
So, then I've
Okay.
got something.
Okay, go ahead.
Just wanted to inform the city that I applied for money through the state through McKee Trail Town. And it's gonna be for some signage and some equipment to work on trails. And so, I don't know if any of you have been through Lee County lately, but they've got this natural bridge and then directional signs on it. If you've been to Lexington, you see the blue horse and then directional signs on how to get things. So this grant would put directional signage through the county, through McKee with your permission. And I've got to contact the state to get permission to put up signs on right-of-ways and so forth. And then it would also put a kiosk in all the parks and would create maps of all our trails, because now we have off-road trails, jeep trails, hiking trails. And so to have these maps available for tourists, so we'd like to put a kiosk in Gabbert Park, Sparks Park, and 89 Park, are the 3 parks the city would own. Of course, we'd put one in the Kiwanis Park as well as the parks throughout the county. So there'd be a kiosk with maps for visitors that would come to see all the trails in the county. And we've got to have that grant done by next late spring, I want to maybe early spring, like March. So I need to get moving on that if we're gonna, have that done in time. So I guess I'd like your permission to be able to put up kiosks. And with this art group, we're gonna be talking about what's that logo that represents Jackson County. Those of you who've been to Lexington, you've seen the Blue Horse probably. If you've been to Lee County lately, they just put up brand new signs and they have natural bridge there. So we're gonna try to come up with something that represents Jackson County to be at the head of the sign. And then like at maybe the intersection of, by the stoplight there, it would have like Jack Gabbert Park pointing up 290, and then would have probably Sparks Park straight ahead. At the intersection before that would have 89 Park pointing that direction, and S Street Tower, Turkey Foot. So, yeah, and then probably as you come into McKee, would have a sign there that would turn down 89 South that would say S Street Tower. So trying to identify where all our tourist attractions are as you come to the county. So that's the goal and the plan, is to get some nice signage throughout the county. And then if we have money left over too, we'd like to maybe put some new banners up in McKee. If that works for you all as well, I'd like permission to do that and start looking at that, what that might cost and what they might look like.
We sure appreciate your all's efforts.
Absolutely. And then, we got the campgrounds downtown there. That band might be interested in doing some stuff with y'all too.
Yeah, the problem with advertising private stuff,
Oh, yeah, right.
it opens up a can of worms, so,
Right, okay.
because everybody would want their B&B there. We've got over 50
Yeah.
B&Bs in the
Right.
county now, and you couldn't
Okay.
keep track of it.
Or-
So- So we're trying to keep it just to public properties.
Right.
Can I ask what obligations, responsibilities the city would have in terms of upkeep, the kiosk? If signage is then damaged, is the city replacing that? Do you know how that would work?
I'll have to read the grant agreement, but I don't think there's anything in the grant agreement that talks about replacement. It's just an initial cost to install these things. And the cost to make maps is probably going to be one of our biggest costs, is because we don't have very good maps of trails in Jackson County.
And when you say kiosk, do you mean like something that's electronic or
No.
just something that is going to store those maps?
Right, just some sort of structure with a piece of plexiglass on it that's lockable, that you can put your maps in,
Okay.
so that people can look at the maps.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we could put that on the courthouse lawn. No?
If we get the jail project ever approved and going, it will have a kiosk there as well. And that's supposed to be part of a tourism welcome center, so all the maps will be in that welcome center as well.
Do you have an update on the jail project?
I do not. I have been asking and getting no responses, so I don't know what's happening with that project.
Is that the one where they're wanting to make the food and stuff at the old?
No,
No.
no, this is a grant to renovate the old jail on the courthouse square.
Oh, yeah.
And that grant was, it was to take that jail, put in new wiring, new air conditioning, new plumbing,
Right.
and then have a couple cells there as tourism, and the rest of the cells as small business incubators. So if you want to start up a company and just needs a little rental space, because some of those sales are, as big as this room. So you can start up a little company there, and if it goes, then you rent a place in town that's bigger
We
space.
had already got that grant.
Well, the grant was awarded. It was chosen to be administered by the Cumberland Valley Area Development District. And I did everything I could to help them. I wrote the budget, I wrote the job description, I completed most of the environmental work that needed to be done for them. And they had a few forms they had to submit, and I don't know what's happening. They don't return my calls, so.
Cumberland Valley?
Yeah, Cumberland Valley, yeah.
I don't think they was going to approve it, then they didn't, is what I heard.
Oh, no, the money was there, it was a set aside.
But they didn't send like you.
They didn't send their paperwork in on time. Then that's what I'm wondering too, because nobody's talking about it, nobody's returning calls.
Now, you can
So I don't know
walk
what's happened.
in- You can walk into jail, you can see the floor.
The judge is the president of Cumberland Valley Ag.
Floors are-
Right. And he's the one that chose them to administer it, so. And I have not heard anything from the judge in over a year about that project, so I don't
I
know.
don't know
Well,
either.
I've got an old year off. I'll ask about
Yeah, because the world wants to know.
Uh,
Everybody asks me all the time, and I tell them I don't really have to ask the judge.
One other issue on this park that we're doing, the Jackson County chapter of the Community Foundation has already granted, along with the Jackson County Bank, some money to be set aside for the sustainability of the park, where we want to put it there. So we've got a long-term plan on that side of it.
So that'll sustain
Is
the
that
sculptures
your
and the murals.
question?
That part, that is different than the kiosks.
Right.
I do wonder if you all could provide a copy of the grant applications and like stipulation requirements to the council. So that way, if they have any questions about what comes along with that grant money, I would be able to read those and advise them.
Okay, I can send it to you.
it. Great.
Every grant does have an agreement.
Yeah, that was part of multi-county. There was a bunch of counties that wound up receiving that were already established as trail town
Mhm.
counties.
You had to be a trail town to be eligible for these funds. And then if you were a trail town, you had to apply for it. If you didn't apply for it, you didn't get it. But if you applied for it, you pretty much were approved.
Thank you all. Art, do you have an update on the fair?
I'm sure Danielle does.
Thank you.
Fair is the last weekend in August.
It is 28th through the 30th.
Yes, that.
We're finalizing dates for the beauty pageant, the soapbox derby,
It's the 23rd, August 23rd.
I believe so, and the
Beauty pageant is tentatively set for August 9th, but we'll be putting out more information about that.
so if you have little kids and I'm sure you think they're beautiful, what better way to show them off than at a beauty pageant?
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's also, the Boone Forest Rally is the 7th and the 8th of August. I don't know if anybody's aware of that, but, so those people will be here through the week. You'll see the teams and
And they're meeting at the courthouse
Would you
where it was
call
Friday night.
the radio station and tell them that?
oh yeah,
So it'll go on their
Yeah.
calendar?
Yeah, I think they already have it.
They already have
it.
Did you say August 7th and 8th?
August it's actually, the 8th and 9th. The 8th is on Friday, and that's where they have they call it an expose, where they all come to McKee. They do their little trail run, and then they come down McKee and have the big event.
Yeah.
So that's that Friday night on the 8th.
Yeah, they'll gather around the courthouse square and you can see their little fancy cars. and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
August 8th.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of them here all week long probably. I think
Yeah.
Eric Hubbard with Backroads of Appalachia has already worked with the school system. That's where their teams are going to be stationed through that weekend. I forget what they call it.
They have to register and
Yeah,
Be
where the cars come
inspected.
back to and they work on their cars and all that.
Okay, any council comments?
Got a lot of stuff going on in McKee.
Yeah, we do.
That's good.
How's the sewer plant, when does it start?
They're,
Just talk about that.
yes, Matt and them are finalizing some of their paperwork. I think it's at a standstill, so we got approved for, the line item budget money. But I don't think that takes effect until after the fiscal year starts at July 1.
July 1.
So after that, they'll start getting all their paperwork and ducks in a row and studies and all of that
There's the Aldi,
stuff that comes with that.
there's the Aldi, supposed to be up to date before you get this done. The sewer.
I would think so. I would think so.
The library is also putting on the Jackson County Got Talent on
Yeah,
August the 16th. That's on Saturday.
August 16th, yeah.
And the winners of those play at the fair. Is that correct?
Unless it gets rained out. Because I think we'll have last year's winner, or second place performing, because they got rained out last year.
Yeah, they've got two winners, 16 and under and 16 and over, so that'll be a fun event. It's up at the center of the high school.
Yeah.
All right,
I make a motion to close.
got a motion to adjourn by
Wait a minute. Council gotta say something, right? I mean,
oh, yeah, well,
Yes.
I would just like to say thank you to the council for everything that you did during my husband's, funeral and all that. I appreciate it so much.